Imagine walking into a packed arena on a crisp spring evening to witness a basketball phenomenon in action. Caitlin Clark, the sensational guard whose name has become synonymous with scoring explosions and record-breaking feats. But tonight, something feels different. Gone is the introspective freshman nervously surveying the court. Instead, you see a sculpted athlete whose every movement exudes strength and purpose. From her first dribble, low, controlled, almost predatory, to her lightning-quick crossovers and sniper-like pull-up threes, Clark's metamorphosis is on full display. The whispers ripple through the stands. Has she added muscle? Is that new footwork? Has her game truly elevated overnight? By the time she glides past defenders for a rim-rattling finish, even veteran scouts are doing double takes. This isn't just evolution, it's transformation at warp speed. Rewind to Clark's storied freshman season at the University of Iowa. She arrived as a slender sharpshooter carrying sky-high expectations. The announcers touted her as the next great women's basketball superstar, while sports writers drooled over her ball-handling wizardry and court vision that bordered on clairvoyance. Yet she carried herself with quiet confidence more than swagger, dribbling through transition with an almost poetic grace. The media focused on her scoring tallies, 30-point outbursts, buzzer-beating daggers, insane tournament heroics. But at 6 feet tall and around 150 pounds, she lacked the physicality to dominate inside consistently. Opponents learned to bump her off her line, forcing her to adapt by draining threes from well beyond the arc. Her shooting splits were historic, but questions lingered. Could she withstand contact? Could she finish around bigger defenders? Could she defend the elite wings she would inevitably face in the pros? Enter the summer before her junior year, a pivot point. Gone were the lengthy beach workouts and casual pickup games. Instead, Clark's calendar brimmed with weight room sessions, agility drills, and film studies dissecting her own game. Early morning strength training replaced late-night shooting runs. Personalized nutrition plans calibrated every macro and micro. A new coaching staff, one specializing in athlete development, arrived from the professional ranks, armed with data-driven insights and cutting-edge recovery protocols. The goal? Augment her natural gifts without sacrificing the finesse that made her unique. Oblique crunches gave way to Olympic lifts. Plyometric box jumps built explosive power. On-court sessions emphasized finishing through contact and lockdown defense. It was a regimen demanding grit, discipline, and an ironclad belief in her ultimate ceiling. That be why the time fall practices kicked off, teammates noticed the changes first. Caitlin's core was tighter, her frame more muscled. Her explosiveness on drives increased notably. What once took 2 steps now required 1. But more importantly, her confidence soared. Where she might have hesitated on a contested layup, now she attacked the rim with authority, shrugging off rookie guards and crashing into the lane against veteran wings. Post-practice workouts evolved into creative experiments. Circus layups off either hand, reverse pivots into mid-range pull-ups, and even post-up moves against a padded board designed to simulate bigger opponents. Gradually, the entire offense shifted to accommodate her growth. Coaches drew up plays exploiting her physical sharpness, slip screens that turned into backdoor feeds, isolation sets at the elbow where she could bully smaller defenders, and hedged pick and rolls demanding her to cover more ground on defense. When the season opener arrived, the transformation was undeniable. Against a solid program known for physicality, Clark posted an efficient 28 points, punctuated by a one-handed dunk that split the rim and echoed through the arena. Cameras caught the stunned expressions of opposing bench players, guarded disbelief mixing with grudging respect. Analysts scrambled to recalibrate their projections. No longer just a sniper, Caitlin had become a multidimensional powerhouse capable of reshaping defensive schemes. Sports shows lit up with transcripts of her latest defiance of odds, handling traps with ease, stepping into contested floaters over 6 feet 4 inches forwards, and sprinting back on defense with rare hustle. Every night, her highlight reels now blended signature deep threes with punishing drives, a hybrid not seen in college hoops for decades. Off the court, her transformation fueled a style evolution as well. Social media feeds shifted from headshots and shooting clips to training montages, sweat-soaked jerseys, barbell plates clanking, sprint lanes blurring under floodlights. Her endorsement deals pivoted accordingly. Where once shoe companies highlighted her shooting touch, now performance brands flaunted her strength and resilience. Interviews delved into her meticulous recovery routines, cryotherapy plunges, compression therapy, customized sleep schedules. Fans began to see her not just as a collegiate phenom, but as a professional in waiting, someone who didn't rely solely on talent, but invested in the blueprint that separates good athletes from great champions. This physical renaissance coincided with an intangible growth, leadership. A player who once led by example now commanded huddles, sharing insights on navigating pressure, dissecting opponents' tendencies, and fostering trust in her teammates' abilities. Younger players leaned in, asking about her workouts, her mental preparation, and how she balances relentless drive with necessary rest. She spoke candidly about the sacrifices required, missing family gatherings, enduring the humbling grind of early mornings, and confronting her own self-doubt in solitary gym sessions. Her transparency resonated, transforming her into a role model not just for aspiring athletes, but for anyone chasing excellence. As the season unfolds, data paints an impressive picture. Her points per game remain elite, but now she ranks near the top in rebounding rate and defensive win shares. Her player efficiency rating soars, and advanced metrics highlight her impact on both ends of the floor. Scouts and executives nod in approval. Commentators rival that of veteran pros. And when she steps onto the biggest stages of March Madness, the stakes feel calibrated perfectly for this new and improved frame. A transcendent athlete whose transformation has us all doing a double take. By midseason, Caitlin Clark's metamorphosis became impossible to ignore. In back-to-back conference matchups, she poured in 34 points with 9 rebounds and 8 assists, then followed that with 28 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists, her first career triple-double. Analysts marveled at how effortlessly she ferried the ball from end to end, pivoted past double teams, and contorted her 6-foot frame into impossible angles for layups. Defensive coordinators scrambled to devise schemes. Sagging in the paint to protect the rim invited her to square up for threes, pressing her full-court left lanes open for cutters keyed by her pinpoint court vision. Whatever blueprint they tried, Caitlin adapted within minutes. The live red-on game film engraved in her mind from endless video breaks that in one emblematic game against a top-5 opponent, Clark faced a pair of former All-American defenders known for shutdown potential. The gym buzzed with anticipation. Would her recent gains translate under high-stakes pressure? Early on, her jump shot rimmed out twice, and she was roughed up on drives, tumbling to the floor after a hard foul. But instead of faltering, her jaw set, and she pounded the hardwood, rose for a pull-up mid-range jumper over both defenders, then beat the shot clock with a behind-the-back dime to her center for an easy bucket. Late in the fourth quarter, she cut through a maze of 6-foot, 3 wings, absorbed contact with her newly built core strength, and banked in a contested floater. The final stat line, 36 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds, ranked among the all-time great individual performances in conference history. Her coach, previously cautious about overloading her responsibilities, began crafting offenses around her dual identity as shooter and facilitator. Set plays morphed from simple isolation dribbles at the top to intricate screen and rolls that freed her for downhill drives. When opponents overhelped on drives, she kicked out to spot up shooters who thrived on the right side of the arc. When they dug under ball screens to contest threes, she split between defenders to the basket or reset the offense in transition. Even during timeouts, she contributed insights, pointing out mismatches she could exploit, suggesting defensive rotations, and reminding teammates to box out for extra possessions. It was more than skill. It was a cerebral game elevated by experience, film study, and a relentless work ethic. Off the court, Caitlin's transformation rippled through her endorsement portfolio. Athletic apparel companies tailored prototypes for her new strength and playing style. High-compression leggings to support her quads on explosive cuts, sleeved shooting shirts that enhance circulation and muscle recovery, and low-profile custom shoes with wider toe boxes for lateral stability. Sports Labs collaborated with her nutritionist to develop recovery shakes enriched with collagen and branched-chain amino acids, ensuring her joints and tendons could handle the rigors of an expanded workload. Social media highlighted these partnerships in authentic glimpses: 5 a.m. core sessions in a weight room lit by dawn, downtime stretches at home with her team's logo plastered on her mat, and candid vlogs analyzing her shooting splits on the road. Each post blurred the lines between athlete and ambassador, fueling her personal brand as an exemplar of holistic performance. Her ascension caught the eye of WNBA scouts projecting top draft selections. Conversations about her potential role shifted from scoring guard to franchise cornerstone, reflecting her newfound versatility. Front office executives debated how her physical upgrades would translate to pro play. Could she keep up with faster defenders while still dishing for teammates? Would her improved frame allow her to thrive in defensive matchups against high-octane wings? Would her leadership and media savvy help elevate franchise culture? Pundits revisited classic guard archetypes. Magic-style playmaking meets sharpshooting nemesis, and conjured comparisons to legends who reshaped the league. In the locker room, teammates embraced her evolution. Veterans praised her newfound physicality, how she absorbed contact, dove for loose balls, and secured rebounds against taller opponents. Rookies revered her mentorship. She led off-court film sessions, offered gym time slots, and even coordinated study groups to balance athletics and academics. The team's chemistry peaked as they rallied around her dual output. When she notched a 12-assist night, the post-game show centered on how her vision unlocked wide-open looks. When she posted 30 points on 70% shooting, the narrative shifted to how her drive-and-kick mentality prevented stagnant offenses. That cohesion yielded team success. The squad stormed through conference play with an unprecedented winning streak, including victories at rival courts where they had previously stumbled. Caitlin's influence extended to clutch situations. In overtime thriller rematches, she dictated tempos, initiated pick and rolls, and drained go-ahead threes off the bounce. Her coach called it masterclass execution, crediting her maturity and training regimen. Her teammates lauded her ability to balance statistical gaudy nights with unselfish ball movement. They never felt overshadowed but invited into a system that thrived on shared glory. Media coverage chronicled this momentum curve, with long-form features in national magazines exploring her summer transformation as a blueprint for athlete development. Podcasts devoted entire episodes to dissecting her footwork tweaks, her strength gains, and her cerebral approach to leadership. Even recipe bloggers published her favorite post-workout meal, grilled salmon tacos with black beans and avocado, describing it as the fuel of champions. Her Instagram followers ballooned beyond the college circuit, reaching audiences who admired her growth story no matter their interest in basketball. As conference tournaments loomed, the stakes felt electric. Caitlin Clark's transformation had already rewritten preseason predictions. Now her team aimed for both regular season and tournament championships. The buzz centered on whether she could sustain this elevated level under bracket pressure and national TV scrutiny. Opponents prepared specialized scouting reports, but most conceded that Clark had outgrown standard game plans. Instead, they preached damage control, minimize her touches, force her to carry heavy minutes on defense, and lean on team defense rotations to limit her efficiency. Yet every adjustment she faced, she countered within minutes, showcasing a combination of raw talent, physical readiness, and mental acumen that almost defied belief. The conference tournament opened under a spotlight so intense it felt like the final chapter in Caitlin Clark's metamorphosis. She emerged from the tunnel with a steely gaze, her pregame routine punctuated by explosive step-back threes and a solid core activation sequence learned in the summer. When the opening possession began, she danced off a high screen, squared her shoulders through contact, and elevated for a contested floater that kissed off glass. The arena erupted, not simply at the bucket, but at the power behind it. This was no longer the slender sharpshooter who dipped her shoulder to free up space on the perimeter. This was a guard who absorbed hits at the rim and finished with authority, her new strength on full display. Throughout the first-round matchup, Clark commanded every facet of the game. She orchestrated pick-and-roll sets with the precision of a conductor guiding an orchestra, delivering crisp passes to cutters and spot-up shooters alike. When opposing defenders dared to press full court, she broke traps with split-second pocket passes, oftentimes catching teammates trailing for easy transition baskets. Defensively, she harnessed her summer gains to chase down loose balls with unrivaled tenacity, strip ball handlers with controlled aggression, and contest shots without sacrificing balance. Her stat line, 32 points, 11 assists, 9 rebounds, looked like a near triple-double, but more striking was her efficiency. Over 60% true shooting and 0 turnovers in the final minutes. In the locker room, her coach smiled wryly and declared it the most complete performance I've ever seen from a guard at any level. Media coverage exploded faster than the final horn. Sports networks ran highlight packages showing her bursting through contact to hack in a reverse layup, then sprinting back to block a fast break attempt. Analysts dissected her weight room transformation, innumerable hours of squats, deadlifts, and plyometrics, and traced how those gains translated into finishing power and defensive solidity. Instead of scoffing at her physique, experts marveled at her holistic development, combining elite skill with functional strength. In post-game interviews, she deflected praise to her strength coach and nutritionist, naming them one by one and stressing the importance of teamwork behind her individual success. That humility, paired with her Herculean performance, elevated her brand from star athlete to team-first leader. By the second-round tip-off, opponents devised bespoke defensive schemes. They sagged off her perimeter gravity to clog driving lanes, daring her to knock down threes. They fronted her in the post, daring her to muscle up against backup forwards. But Clark had anticipated every wrinkle. When sagged defenses double-teamed her off the catch, she dribbled twice to her right, then executed a textbook Euro step around the outstretched arm of a 6 feet 2 inches wing to convert in the paint. When fronted, she baited help defenders with a series of jab steps, then delivered a no-look pass to a cutting forward for an alley-oop. Her physicality prevented either trap from succeeding. Her improved frame allowed her to finish strong or deliver lethal assists. Off the court, Caitlin's evolution sparked broader resonance. Athletic departments across college sports touted her as a case study in integrated training, combining sport-specific skill work with evidence-based strength and conditioning. Youth programs revamped curriculums to include core stability drills alongside ball handling. Social media fitness influencers posted tutorials for her signature one-leg deadlift variation, crediting her for opening conversations about guard strength training. Even lifestyle publications featured her balanced approach. Early morning journal prompts paired with post-practice yoga, recovery ice baths counterbalanced with active mobility sessions. The narrative shifted. Caitlin wasn't just rewriting record books, she was redefining how athletes prepare mentally and physically for elite competition. Meanwhile, her sponsorship portfolio diversified to mirror her newfound versatility. A performance apparel brand released a compression sleeve line designed for explosive cuts and loaded payloads. A sports tech company partnered with her to pilot wearable biometrics that track muscle activation in real time. She appeared in short-form ads demonstrating her pre-game breathing exercises. Inhale for a 4 count, exhale clenched fists, and evening gratitude journaling. Fans flocked to emulate her regimen, with hashtags like #TrainLikeKate initiating millions of posts. Her social feed balanced highlight reels with behind-the-scenes glimpses, barbell sets in a concrete gym, late-night film sessions under desk lamps, quiet moments of reflection by a cold plunge. In interviews, she reflected on the demands of her transformation. She spoke candidly about the sacrifices, missing family vacations, enduring chalked-up hands and sore joints, and confronting her own ego when workouts humbled her. She credited sports psychology sessions for helping her manage the weight of expectation and maintain focus under duress. That openness resonated widely. Young athletes tweeted their gratitude for normalizing mental health dialogue, and veteran pros lauded her transparency. Clark's journey became a touchstone for anyone striving to translate natural talent into sustainable excellence. As her team surged toward the semifinals, the buzz only intensified. Commentators speculated on how her multifaceted game would fare in March Madness. Could she continue bullying smaller guards in high-stakes environments? Would her stamina hold up through back-to-back neutral site games? Yet if her conference tournament performances were any indication, Caitlin Clark had already transcended such concerns. She had proven that an athlete's evolution need not come at the expense of identity. Rather, It could amplify her core strengths and unleash new dimensions of impact. And as the selection committee live-streamed bracket reveals, the sports world braced for a tournament defined by her revolutionary dual threat, sharpshooting brilliance fortified by unyielding physicality and cerebral command. The first-round showdown in Dayton felt like the culmination of months of refinement. From the opening tip, Caitlin seized control, orchestrating her team with surgical precision. She attacked the lane with newfound aggression, absorbing contact on drives and flipping in acrobatic floaters that drew gasps from the crowd. When defenders collapsed in the paint, she punished them with deep three-pointers, each swish a testament to hours spent perfecting her balance and release under duress. Her stat line, 29 points, 10 rebounds, 8 assists, bordered on historic, but more telling was her situational awareness, switching on screens, contesting jump shots, and corralling loose balls with tenacity previously unseen. Teammates fed off her energy, converting her passes into easy buckets, and coaches praised how her improved physicality opened lanes and created spacing that shattered opposing game plans. In the Sweet 16, the pressure intensified under bright national lights. Yet Caitlin thrived in adversity. Twice in overtime, she led clutch sequences, first by stepping back for a contested triple that silenced a sold-out arena, then by blocking a fast-break layup thanks to her off-season emphasis on lateral quickness. Each play underscored her metamorphosis into a two-way force, equally capable of dazzling offense and dogged defense. Commentators marveled at her stamina. Late clock possessions saw her sprint back on defense without missing a beat. Opponents who once dared to bait her into scoring battles now hesitated as she drove relentlessly, bulking up over summer to finish through contact. After one dominant victory, a rival coach admitted on live television, "We came to stop her shooting. We didn't expect the physicality or the defense." Off the court, Caitlin's transformation rippled through campus and beyond. Student sections donned custom workout t-shirts reading, "Train like Clark," while local gyms reported membership spikes as fans sought to emulate her regimen. In the locker room, she instituted a new tradition, post-game recovery circles where teammates shared gratitude and cooling protocols, including ice baths and guided stretching, ensuring their bodies could handle the tournament grind. Sports psychologists highlighted her mental resilience as a case study, praising her use of visualization techniques to anticipate every defensive rotation and offensive wrinkle. Interviews revealed she now averaged 8 hours of sleep, adhered to strict nutritional windows, and meditated daily to maintain focus. A level of professionalism more akin to seasoned pros than collegiate athletes. By the Elite Eight, social media had become a carnival of accolades and analysis. Hashtags like #ClarkClutch and #5StarKate trended globally as clips of her game winners flooded feeds. Analysts dissected her adjustments on microblogs, how a slight tweak in wrist angle after free throws boosted her percentage by nearly 5 points, how contralateral breathing drills translated into steadier shooting under fatigue. Brands lined up for partnerships highlighting her holistic approach. Recovery tool companies showcased her foam roller tutorials. Health tech startups credited her feedback for refining wearable trackers, and apparel lines released limited edition performance gear branded with her signature logo. Through each collaboration, Caitlin maintained creative control, ensuring that products reflected her values: durability, functionality, and respect for the grind. As Selection Sunday drew closer, WNBA executives sat glued to her tournament games. Conversations in front offices revolved around fit. Would her improved strength allow her to thrive in postseason physical play? Could her playmaking translate to speeding up professional sets? Would her leadership, on full display in timeouts and huddles, serve as a cultural cornerstone? Scouts projected her as a top 3 pick, citing her transformation as evidence she could handle the leap. Mock drafts buzzed with team-by-team scenarios, debating whether a rebuilding franchise might prefer her dynamic scoring or whether a championship contender would prioritize her two-way impact. In interviews, Caitlin gracefully deflected questions about the pros, emphasizing her team's collective goal of a Final Four berth and her desire to savor each moment of her college odyssey. As the tournament climaxed on a national championship stage, Caitlin Clark embodied the apex of evolution. a guard who had morphosed from lethal shooter into a complete superstar. Her body language exuded confidence honed by an off-season of sacrifice. Her playbook blended high IQ reads with brute strength earned in the weight room. In the final seconds of her last collegiate game, she rose for a game-winning bomb over two defenders, a shot that captured every facet of her journey: finesse, power, and unshakable belief. The final buzzer ignited pandemonium, and Caitlin collapsed to the floor, tears mixing with sweat, proof that transformation is as much emotional as physical. As confetti rained and cameras swarmed, the world witnessed not just a stellar season, but the unfolding of an athlete who rewrote her own story. In the aftermath of that buzzer beater, Caitlin Clark's name became synonymous with greatness, but her story was far from over. Soon after the NCAA title, she embraced an array of off-court opportunities that mirrored her on-court evolution. She launched the Beyond the Arc Foundation, dedicated to providing underserved youth with access to sports facilities and mentorship programs. The inaugural clinic drew hundreds of children to her alma mater's training center, where she personally led drills and spoke about discipline, resilience, and the grit required not only to excel at basketball, but to thrive in life. Families lined up to thank her, and local news captured footage of Clark patiently demonstrating layup footwork to children half her height, a gesture that underscored how she balanced superstar status with genuine humility. Simultaneously, Caitlin signed her first professional contract, declaring her intention to enter the WNBA draft as the projected #1 pick. On draft night, she sat beside her family, glowing in a tailored suit designed to allow freedom of movement even as she celebrated. As the commissioner called her name, she rose, embraced teammates, and waved to a global audience. Yet even amid the flashing cameras, her mind was already shifting to the responsibilities ahead: a new locker room, a tougher schedule, and the weight of inspiring an entire league. In her first WNBA press conference, she spoke of her summer transformation as a foundation for pro longevity, emphasizing that the same work ethic and attention to detail that elevated her college career would guide her next chapter. Her rookie season quickly validated those promises. She stepped onto the professional court with trademark confidence, posting 20-point games within her first 5 outings and notching record-setting double-doubles. More striking was her ability to translate her two-way maturity. She recovered blocked shots, sprinted back on transition defense, and relentlessly pursued loose balls, actions that endeared her to coaches and veterans alike. Within a month, she shattered the team's rookie assist record and climbed the defensive leaderboards. Media outlets highlighted how Summer's weight room gains paid dividends against bigger, stronger opponents, and her advanced metrics ranked her among the league's top 75 percentile in usage efficiency and defensive win shares. Beyond her statistical impact, Caitlin's presence reshaped team culture. She instituted pre-game study halls where rookies reviewed scouting reports and film breakdowns under her guidance. She hosted weekly mind and body sessions, inviting sports psychologists to teach visualization and mental reset techniques borrowed from Olympic athletes. In one viral segment, she led a breathwork circle in the locker room before a nationally televised game, a practice that reminded fans that performance extends beyond physical prowess. Teammates echoed her influence. Veterans noted that her relentless preparation inspired them to recommit to fundamentals, and the synergy translated into a mid-season winning streak that even seasoned analysts called historic for a first-year player. Off the court, Caitlin navigated her burgeoning brand with strategic nuance. She penned a monthly column for a leading sports magazine, offering candid reflections on balancing fame with personal growth, the importance of mental health resources for athletes, and her own evolving definition of success. She declined offers that prioritized glamour over substance, opting instead to partner with organizations advocating equitable access to sports leagues for girls and young women. A collaboration with a national nonprofit resulted in the #CourtForAll campaign, installing outdoor hoops in low-income neighborhoods and organizing community tournaments. In an interview with a major network, she remarked, "Basketball taught me discipline, but service teaches me purpose." Her influence reached international levels when she joined an exhibition tour in Europe, playing in packed arenas from Madrid to Istanbul. Spectators who once watched her via viral clips now saw firsthand how her transformation translated against diverse playing styles. She faced tough competition from veteran pros overseas, yet continued to demonstrate her dynamic range, hitting step-back threes, maneuvering through agile defenses, and consistently outworking opponents on both ends. Press conferences abroad marveled at her poise, with journalists noting that her transition from collegiate phenom to global ambassador happened seamlessly because she carried the same authenticity that defined her Iowa days. The WNBA season wound down. Caitlin's team clinched a playoff berth for the first time in franchise history. Her postseason performances were emblematic of everything she had become: a fearless driver, a precision passer, and a formidable defender. In one pivotal game, she delivered 25 points, 12 assists, and a crucial block in the final quarter, preserving her team's lead and prompting commentators to dub her the blueprint for modern guard play. Though the season ended without a championship, her impact was undeniable. Rookie of the Year honors arrived alongside an all-star selection, and teammates credited her leadership for transforming the locker room into a culture of accountability and camaraderie. Through every milestone, Clark maintained perspective. She returned to campus in the off-season to speak at commencement, urging graduates to embrace challenges as catalysts for growth. She spoke at youth leadership forums, emphasizing that confidence without compassion yields hollow victories. And she found quiet moments at her family home, where off-season workouts still began at dawn and film sessions continued well into the evening. In these spaces, she reaffirmed that transformation is ongoing, that every skill must be honed, every setback learned from, and every success shared. Caitlin Clark's journey from slender sharpshooter to consummate two-way superstar has not only rewritten her own story, but shifted the entire landscape of women's basketball. As her rookie season concluded, she turned her attention to building a legacy that extends far beyond statistical milestones. First came the groundbreaking announcement of the Clark Performance Institute, a multidisciplinary training facility opening next summer near Iowa City. Designed to support athletes of all ages, the institute will offer sport-specific strength programs, nutritional counseling, mental health services, and mentorship workshops. Importantly, Caitlin pledged that 1/3 of all institute slots will be reserved at reduced rates for underprivileged youth, ensuring that her path from small-town Devonian heroine to global icon remains accessible to the next generation. Meanwhile, Nike unveiled a signature shoe line, strategically named the Polaris, reflecting her navigational mastery on the court. Each pair incorporates breathable Flyknit material for lightweight feel and carbon-infused plates for explosive cuts, mirroring Caitlin's own training regimen. Launching simultaneously with her institute, the partnership allocates a percentage of proceeds to fund scholarships for female athletes pursuing sports science degrees. Caitlin's involvement in every design meeting, down to selecting colorways that pay homage to her Iowa roots, underscores her commitment to authenticity and purpose-driven branding. Off the hardwood, Caitlin expanded her role as an advocate for women's sports equity. She accepted an appointment to the NCAA's newly formed Advisory Council on Women in Athletics, lending her voice to policy discussions about scholarship funding, media coverage, and equal facility resources. At her first council meeting, she spoke passionately about the need for consistent broadcast schedules so that women's games receive the primetime visibility they deserve. Her appeal drew enthusiastic support from administrators and fellow athletes alike, setting in motion a pilot program to standardize television slots for major conference matchups. In the realm of media, Caitlin hosted a special series titled Under the Radar, profiling unsung women in sport. High school coaches who transform lives in rural towns, para-athletes overcoming systemic barriers, and pioneering trainers who champion inclusivity. The 6-episode show, produced in collaboration with ESPN, blended documentary storytelling with candid interviews, mirroring the personal transparency that defined Caitlin's own rise. Critics praised the series for elevating voices often overlooked in mainstream narratives, while viewers lauded its emotional depth and educational impact. Internationally, Caitlin embraced her role as a global ambassador. She traveled to Tokyo this spring for a Goodwill exhibition game organized by FIBA to promote women's basketball in Asia. In an arena packed with enthusiastic fans, she engaged in drills with local youth, delivered a keynote speech on pursuing dreams against all odds, and participated in a cultural exchange that included calligraphy lessons and traditional drumming ceremonies. Social media clips of her attempting to write "Young Cheat, Yuki, Courage" went viral, symbolizing the universal language of sportsmanship and inspiring renewed interest in basketball development programs across the region. Meanwhile, Caitlin's philanthropic momentum continued with the launch of the Beyond the Arc mobile app, a free platform offering skill tutorials, favorite drills, and motivational insights directly from her own training vault. Users can track progress, join community challenges, and even submit highlight clips for Caitlin's personal feedback. When the app topped download charts on launch day, Caitlin celebrated by recording a heartfelt video message encouraging users to celebrate small wins and maintain consistency, principles that fueled her own transformation. In personal interviews, Caitlin reflected on the balance she strives to maintain between relentless ambition and self-care. She described adopting a 4R framework: routine, rest, reflection, and recalibration that guides her daily schedule. Mornings begin with gratitude journaling and mobility exercises. Afternoons focus on skill work and team meetings. Evenings allow for digital detox and family connections. On rest days, she reads literature on leadership and psychology, reinforcing the mental foundations that support high performance. Her transparency about these practices continues to resonate, sparking broader conversations about sustainable athlete wellness. Looking ahead to her sophomore WNBA season, Caitlin sets clear goals: to average a league-leading assist rate, secure her first all-defensive team nod, and help her squad reach the playoffs. But she also speaks of loftier ambitions, sparking a nationwide homegrown movement that sees local courts buzzing with girls inspired by her example. She envisions a Summer of Caitlin tour, where she visits secondary cities to conduct free clinics, delivering not only drills, but empowering messages about leadership, self-belief, and community. Ultimately, Caitlin Clark's metamorphosis teaches us that transformation is not merely physical. It encompasses mindset, purpose, and service. From her initial decision to invest in strength and nutrition, through her records and awards, to her emerging status as a changemaker, she exemplifies how athletes can leverage personal growth into broader social impact. As she balances global endorsements, philanthropic initiatives, and relentless training, her authenticity remains unwavering, a guiding compass for anyone seeking excellence in their own arena. So when future generations look back on Caitlin Clark's career, they will see more than highlight reels and historic numbers. They will see a blueprint for holistic evolution, a journey that begins with introspection, flourishes through disciplined action, and radiates through community uplift. In an era hungry for stories of empowerment, Caitlin's double-take-worthy transformation stands as a testament to the limitless potential unlocked when talent meets tenacity and ambition meets altruism.